What's going on, guys? Eric here, and in this video I'll show you how to make these glitter tiles without actually using any glitter. Instead of glitter, I'll be using vinyl wrap like this for a mess-free project. I'll go over the tools and supplies you need to do this project. We'll do the walkthrough tutorial, and then at the end of the video we'll talk a little bit about how much vinyl you might need and how much this project might cost you to do so you can make your own glitter tiles at home. And with that, let's get started with an overview of the tools and supplies you'll need for this project. So just starting here, this is just a bottle of isopropyl alcohol and water mixture, 70% isopropyl alcohol and 30% water. This is just a utility knife, stainless steel body with a 30-degree snap-off stainless steel blades. You can use whichever utility knife you want. I just recommend you have blades that are super sharp. This is a squeegee with a buffer on the end. This is a soft felt buffer on one end, and then just some Teflon tape on the other. You don't have to have this, but I do recommend having at least a buffer on it. You'll want your tile that you'll be wrapping to make into a glitter tile. You'll want a heat source. Here is just a basic heat gun. You can use a hairdryer if you don't have a heat gun. Just with a hairdryer, just be careful because it does put out a lot of air along with heat, whereas this puts out way more heat. So the air may move your vinyl around, so just be aware of that. If you're comfortable with it, you can use a torch, though for this particular project, I think that's going to be a bit overkill. And then, of course, you'll want to have your vinyls. What I have here are just 4 different vinyls from Vivid in their new Ultra Series vinyl, automotive vinyl wrap. And these are specifically automotive vinyl wrap, not craft vinyl. And this is their Candy series, gloss, ultra gloss candy. And you can see there's, hopefully you can see a lot of sparkle built into each of these vinyls. I don't think the camera does it justice. It does come with a protective cap on it, and then when you peel it and have it on, and this looks like wet paint when you apply it to your vehicle or whatever you apply it to. Very, very beautiful colors. So I just have 4 different colors here for the video. The tutorial piece, I'll be using this silver. To my eyes, the glitter effect comes out the best in this one. Overall, when you're doing something small like tiles. Anyway, you don't have to use Vivid. There are other ones out there. Avery Dennison makes a Diamond series automotive vinyl wrap that has very, very heavy metallic sparkly flakes in it. So there are other brands out there that you can also use for this project. And with that, let's get on with the walkthrough tutorial portion of the video. Alright, so you'll start off with your tile that's been cleaned thoroughly using a alcohol and water solution, 70% alcohol, rubbing alcohol, or isopropyl alcohol, 30% water. I've done that already here. Also have a piece of vinyl cut out that's big enough to wrap not just the face of the vinyl, but also go over each of the sides as well if you want to wrap the sides. If you don't, I'd still suggest having a little bit of extra in case you don't necessarily center the tile on the vinyl entirely true. Here you can see I have a piece already cut out. You can see I've already started to peel off the plastic protective layer that's on it. You can actually install this with that layer on. It does stretch and move with the vinyl. So peel off the backing, and then basically you want to put this over to center. If you want to, you can flip the vinyl over. Just make sure there's no dust or debris around that could fall on the vinyl adhesive while it's up. Then you can place the vinyl center, the tile center on the vinyl. Alright, now that I've got that, just take your squeegee and then you can press out any air bubbles. This is automotive vinyl, so it does have an air release property to it. And basically, if there's air bubbles that are trapped, these have air channels embedded in the adhesive itself where you can then squeegee or press and the air will be able to move through those channels out and away from the bubble and disperse out, thus eliminating any air bubbles or pockets that you might have. So you can see that basically I've got the whole surface of this tile already wrapped. Since I do intend to wrap the sides, what I'm going to do is kind of put my finger over the corner points, right? And you can see that the corner points are getting defined there by pressing on it, just like that. Take my knife and then just at or below the corner point itself, I'm going to cut at a 45-degree angle away from this angle here. Just like that. And just like that. Alright. Now, I'm going to go ahead and peel off this plastic protective cap. Alright. And so you can see how shiny and glossy and sparkly this vinyl is already. Looks like I just put glitter all over this vinyl. So I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to pick just one of these sides here, add a little bit of heat, and you'll see as it warms up the vinyl will kind of get softer and just basically start to fall. And what I'm going to do is take advantage of that while it's soft and then roll my finger just over the edge to get the vinyl started over that edge. Once it is, start rolling my finger over a little bit more, and I'm basically just pressing it right along the side, and then once I get to the flat, press it down nice and well. That side that I did, since I do have the triangle piece there, I'm just going to take that triangle fold and fold it right over the edge just like that. Same with the other side, just like that. Okay, I'm going to go to the opposite side and do the exact same thing. Add a little bit of heat here, causes the vinyl to soften and fall as you saw because it's relaxing. Roll, make sure there's no air trapped right on this edge here. Use your finger, kind of roll it over, then roll over a little bit more over the side once you know that it's off of this edge and over this edge. Then once you get it good, you can then press it over the side, the flat side of the tile itself. Once you have that down, you can then, same thing, roll that little triangle piece down and over. Now, you can either trim off some of this excess here using your knife. You can trim off some of this excess here like this if you wanted to. You don't have to, but you can just leave it there. Now that those are all down, you're going to do essentially the same thing to the two sides that are still up. I'm giving it just a little heat to relax this down, make the vinyl a little softer, more malleable, conformable. Rolling over that side edge to make sure there's no air trapped. Once I do, go over the flat and then lay down, press down nice and firmly over the flats. And then with the parts that are sticking out, you can take and kind of just, I give it a little slight tug and pull it over the side, just like that. Same thing here. Give it a little tug, pull it over the side, make sure that it's flush, no air pockets or pockets there on the side there. And do the same on this side here. A little bit of heat just to soften the vinyl. You see that I pulled the heat, it's on low, pulled the heat as soon as I see it soften nice and well. Roll it over the edge. Once I get it flat, I get it over the edge and know there's air trapped on this side or this side of the edge. Go down the flat side of the tile. Once that's done, and then go ahead and do the same thing here. Actually, I think this corner came up a little bit first. Let me reapply that, then put this back down and over that. Then go over the corner here on this side there. Alright, so all the sides are effectively wrapped. Now what I'm going to do is make sure that each side is down well and I'm meeting the bottom edge of the tile. Taking just an extra second or two here to make sure that I have everything set up so that I get a nice, good, clean, and even cut and to trim off the excess. You can see, but when I'm pressing, I created a pretty defined line where the bottom edge of the tile is. Take your knife, then you can just use the side of this blade against the bottom side edge of the tile and basically just use that as your guide to then trim off this excess. When you get to the corners, you might have a little extra here to work through because you have a couple layers, in a sense, of vinyl that's tucked over each other. You want to continue just cutting the vinyl here. Make sure your blade is sharp. If you need to, snap off the end of your blade so that you have a fresh blade to trim the vinyl, the sharper the blade is, the easier this part of the job will be, because then the blade will just slide right through the vinyl like a hot knife through butter. If it's not sharp enough, it'll start to drag and could tear and pull at your vinyl versus cutting it. Okay, just about done. Trim off this excess around this corner here, just like that. Okay, just going to take a quick look to make sure that I have trimmed it off nicely like the way I want. Make sure everything is pressed down. There's no extra edges that I don't want showing. Just like that. And then I'd recommend giving it a little bit more heat just to kind of find any air bubbles that might be trapped, cause the vinyl's adhesive to flow a little more and set onto the tile surface itself and where the vinyl is overlapping on these corners. And there you go. You now have a glitter tile. So now that we've finished the walkthrough tutorial portion of the video, let's talk about project time and project cost. So let's talk about some project time first. And in this video, the walkthrough tutorial piece took about 8 minutes to do. Now, I was going slowly, taking my time, doing instruction. And so it actually took way longer than it actually would do once you get to do this a couple times and have a little bit of practice. In reality, I could probably do these in about 3 to 5 minutes each. Even faster if you decide that you don't want to wrap the sides and you just cut it off right here at the edges. So you wrap the face, cut off right on the edges. We're talking seconds at that. You can do this with practically any vinyl wrap. I happen to use Vivid Vinyl Automotive Ultra Series vinyl wrap for this one because I like it. You can use other vinyl wraps. I'm using Automotive vinyl wrap in particular because of the air egress properties that it has versus craft vinyl, which generally does not have an air egress, meaning that if you get a bubble, say right in the middle, with craft vinyl you have to pull it up and then work it back down. And as you know, like Oracal 651, sometimes you could rip it or tear it, whatever. With automotive vinyl wrap, you can usually just press that bubble right out and keep going on your way. Or because it's intended to be repositionable, removable, you can just peel the vinyl back up and relay it down without any issues. Give it a little kiss of heat and it basically goes back to brand new. You don't have to use Vivid in particular. You can use any other vinyl that you would like as well. Again, for this project, this is what I happen to use. So let's talk a little bit of cost. Now, for this vinyl, you can buy a 1 foot by a 5 foot roll on Amazon, for example, and I'll leave links in the description below, for about $12, give or take. Depends on where you buy it from. And so 1 foot by 5 foot, and let's talk about some square inches here. If I did my math right, 12 inches for 1 foot times 5 feet times 60 is 720 inches. So 720 square inches roughly of material for $12. Now, in terms of cost per tile, this is a 4 1/4-ish by 4 1/4 inch tile. So let's just make it even. And we're talking 5 square inches or 5 inches on each side, and so that's 25 square inches total. So you're going to be using 25 square inches of the 720 square inches available in a 1 foot by 5 foot roll, again for $12. Now, $12 divided by 720 square inches, again, if I did my math right, I'm not the best at math here, my calculator though told me that is 0.016666 repeat. And so for just about 2 cents, 0.016, round up to 2 cents, it's 2 cents per square inch. We use 25 square inches, so there you go. You've got 50 cents really worth of vinyl that it would cost you for this. Add in the cost of the tile. I bought a box on sale at Menards. These are just gloss glazed white tiles. I think a box of 100 cost me $17 before taxes, so let's just call it $18. So each tile is, if I did the math before, is like 17 cents per tile, maybe 18 cents per tile when you add in tax. And so for 18 cents plus the 50 cents worth of vinyl, you can make each of these tiles for, what is that, 68, 70 cents roughly per tile. And the great part is, because it's vinyl wrap, you can just peel it off whenever you don't like it. automotive vinyl wrap or just vinyl wrap in particular, you could take this off and you'll have your tile back again, assuming you don't mount it into a wall or make it part of a counter or things like that. And so you can change out the background color of this tile as you want. This is really good for as a base for projects because now you have this really cool colorful tile that you can put a decal or another overlay on top. Or I have videos on embossing, and if you use automotive vinyl wrap embossing, you can do embossing with this, and you can make these as custom drink coasters if you want. I just added some cork backing on the back that has self-adhesive. Again, I bought this cork backing from Amazon. I'll leave links in the description below. And now this is just a pretty handy, really nice looking, really cool tile drink coaster. It's inexpensive and it's durable. The vinyl wrap, and automotive vinyl wrap, if you think about it, it's very durable. It's intended to go on the outside of cars. And so just if you think about all the abuse that a car goes through, this vinyl has to be pretty tough. When we heat automotive vinyl wrap on cars, people ask all the time, what about heat if I put a hot cup of coffee on it? So if you put a hot cup of coffee on something that's been epoxy coated, for example, depending on the epoxy, the heat from the cup could actually not really melt, but soften the epoxy, and then you get a ring right on the tile itself. With automotive vinyl wrap, when we're done wrapping a car, for example, we actually do what's called post heating, and we'll heat the vinyl to 160 to almost 200 degrees to ensure that the vinyl is set down and put on and will not peel back. And we're either using a torch or a heat gun or an IR heater directly on the vinyl, oftentimes just inches away from the vinyl. So that's a ton of heat that this vinyl can take without any issue. So again, for about 3 minutes and about 60 odd cents, 68, 70 cents per tile, you can make some really cool, really decorative, really unique looking tiles for whatever your project might be. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was entertaining and value added to you. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hit the bell notification button so you get notices whenever I post new content to the channel. I'm working on more projects and videos for you guys, and I'd love to share those with you. Thanks again guys for watching, and have a great day.